everybody, and welcome to the AfricaNEV podcast. On this podcast, we talk about sustainable energy and transport solutions for Africa. My name is Gad Ashago Senyejo. I'm your host, and today our special guest is Anthony Bosun Osibajo, a Nigerian and the founder and CEO of OSquareTeck Limited. Anthony, welcome to the AfricaNEV podcast.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure for having me.
It's a pleasure to be had to have you also with us. Anthony also happens to be a member of the African EV group. Anthony, can you tell us a bit about yourself and how you got into the whole sustainability movement?
Thank you once again. Yeah, my name is Osibajo Anthony, as I said, and I'm an engineer by profession, electrical electronics, with master degrees from New York University, then also some renewable energy associate degree from various organizations ranging from European Energy Center and Schneider University and up to GIZ, a German company. I started working in, um, let me say, operational maintenance in electric, or let me say, in a utility company, 2000 2015, if you're about, where I get accredited to renewable energy. Despite that, I've been in the green energy for a couple of times at the telecom sector, where I've been working on passive infrastructure maintenance. 2015, I got fully um, into utility system, where I started as an energy developer with a Sierra Leonean company in Nigeria, where we start developing power solutions to off-grid areas and less utilized, or let me say less developed area. So along the line, before I start working, I have a lot of opportunity of making research on power solutions. So I've tried to look for alternative ways or alternative source to complement the the fuel type that we're using presently, which is the fossils, and also at the power side and also at the transportation side, and also on how we can reduce emission in the building. So a lot of couple of research have been done. 2018, this led to the registration of OSquareTeck Limited. We register with the Nigerian government so that we could be able to operate under renewable energy. So we register OSquareTech to be able to, with the focus of operating in the following four major markets, which are transportation, power, agriculture, and housing. So 2019, we were able to participate in a climate launch parade where we are able to showcase electric mobility, which will be able to reduce carbon emission on our roads. So to 2019 as well, we'll start moving and penetrating the market on how we can develop this. And that is where we are today. And this has really led us to fine tune it with a couple of organizations that have started up to support us on the motion, on the idea that we have. And today we are moving on introduction of electric mobility on our roads in Nigeria and Africa, in West Africa at large.
Okay, that's really comprehensive. But you spoke about four areas. You spoke about transportation, power, agriculture, and housing. All right. Now, which area was your entry point into the market when you were starting out? Which one? Obviously, you will not be able to start with all at once. You have to pick one. So, which was your entry point and why of this four markets segment?
Yeah, thank you so much. That's a good question. Our entry point is the electric mobility as the transportation. So we're entering the market where we're going to be developing electric vehicle, which is under the micro mobility. The reason for this is basically because we discovered on a daily basis in Africa the rate and the numbers of mobility on our roads are increasing on a daily basis, and a lot of solution has already come up in the power sector that will be able to combat reduce carbon emissions. But less effort is being done towards the transportation sector. And when you look at the chart, after power, transportation is what is next. Even if not on the same pay, on the same level, it will be just maybe a very little percentage above each other. So that's why we look at it.
I think my internet uh,
Okay. Yes.
was
Like I said, let me just repeat it. I said that our entry point is transportation, where we are introducing electric micro mobility using rickshaw, electric rickshaw, which is popularly called tuk in the African setup. And we are doing this because we discovered a lot has been done on at the power sector, reducing carbon emissions, but less effort is being done at the transportation. And the rates, if we look at the chart, we'll see that transportation and power are almost at the same level when it comes to carbon emission rate. So we now take it up as on upon ourselves to combat carbon emission at the transportation sector, and also to design a solution which also will be useful or will be able to fuel both the transportation and also the power. So that's what makes us to venture into electric mobility first.
okay. So you know, what exactly is your solution for that space? Are you selling the bikes? Are you selling components? Are you selling batteries? I mean, what exactly is your solution for that space?
Yes, what is happening is we are creating what we call, excuse me, we are creating a product, and at the same time we are creating the service, because this is a new this is a new technology in African market, and also in, let me say, in Nigeria. So we have to create the both the product and the service. So what we are doing now is we are creating the product, which is the electric mobility, and as well we are creating the service where we're going to be fueling the electric mobility. Our mobility is coming without battery. The battery right now is a source of fuel to it, because it's a battery electric vehicle system. So the battery is what is going to be fueling it. We have designed it in such a way that it's not coming with a battery, because we are going to be using what we call battery swapping technology system. At the battery swapping technology system, we remove the battery from the end user to be able to reduce the cost for the end user to afford this electric mobility. And we will now create what we call a battery swapping station, where we are going to be investing on the battery for them to come and be able to pick up on a rent basis on pay-as-you-go model.
Okay, so that means that you are selling, you're either importing and selling the tuk-tuk, or you're manufacturing the tuk-tuk yourself. And when somebody comes to buy from you, it does not include the battery. It's just a tuk-tuk in order to reduce the cost. Is that what I'm getting from you?
Yes, thank you so much. I missed that one out. Yes, presently, what we are doing is we we are importing because we designed this with our technical partner in India because we believe that the first entry or the have to give a very strong impression to our end user. We intend to be a manufacturer later in the future. The first product we are introducing, we develop it with our partner in India. We did the design and we gave it to the manufacturers, give it to manufacturers because we believe they have been in the system and they know the intricacy of the system. So where it is very important. So while we are importing, we also stated there that we design it without a battery. We design a battery pack separately, and we design the battery swapping separately. So it's more of a system where we have to divide it into three segments, and later on bring it down to Nigeria and make it to become a one segment.
Okay. So it means like it's like a modular design, especially when it comes to the battery swapping and the battery integration system. That's very clear. Now, let's interrogate that the tuk tuk. So the tuk tuk, what are the? Can you give us the specs? Some specs. Is it one tuk tuk or there are several different designs with different ranges? Okay, and what are the specifications? So, for example, in terms of battery size, what are the battery sizes? What are the ranges? What are the performance metrics? Those are the things that we
Oh,
saying. And how are the range
yes.
figures calculated?
Okay. Yeah. Let me start with the brand. Yes. Presently, we are going into the market with one brand. The first one we're doing is one brand, and the configuration for this is we call it 6+1. Six means the tuk-tuk will be able to carry 6 passengers plus the driver. The normal tuk-tuk we have right now is configured to be 3+1, which is 3 passengers plus the driver with just a two row. The two row means one driver. The first row is the driver. The second row is the passenger. But our own design right now is 6+1, which is having three rows. The first row is the driver, the second row is the passenger, and the third row also is the passenger. So we're having that. Subsequently, we are having another model, which is going to be it's tuk-tuk also, but now instead of a three-wheeler, it's a quad cycle, but at the same size with the tuk-tuk also. So it's a quad cycle, but this one configuration now is it's two plus two. Let me say it's going to be 3+1 as well, but it's two passenger at the back, two in the front. The two in the front is one of out of it is going to be the driver, and the other one is the passenger. So it's still going to be like 3+1, but now it's going to be a bit more sophisticated than the normal tuk-tuk we have because it's quad cycle, and also the interior is going to be well developed. In terms of the battery capacity, we for the tuk-tuk, we design it in such a way that it will be able to go 100 kilometers with the rate with the capacity of 48 volts, 150 AH. But we have to break down these 150 AH into smaller units because we are using a battery swapping system, which is more of like replacing the filling station.
Wait,
So what we are doing is
hold on. Let me interrupt your train of thoughts. I'm sorry. You said 48 volt, 150. Did you say amp hours?
150.
AH. You said you meant AH. I had AA. That's why I
Yes,
was amp hours.
no, it's 158.
Please continue.
It will be able to travel 100 kilometers. But we break it down because the tuk-tuk will be able to walk intra and intercity. So for those in intra-city, they may want to just cover some little distance, which is not going to be up to 100. So instead of them taking up the chunk of 158 battery, which they will not be able to utilize those, very well. So we break it down into 40 48-volt 20 AH battery pack. So which means if a driver or if a rider wants to drive for 100 kilometers, they'll be able to take 8 units of a battery pack of 48-volt 20 AH. This will be able to go for 100 kilometers. So if you want to travel for 50 kilometers, you'll be able to take 4 of it, which will be 48-volt 80 AH that will go for 50 kilometers.
So that is basically 1 kilowatt hour blocks of batteries. So you can
Yeah.
stack them up to get whatever
In
requirements.
parallel. Connect
Okay,
them in parallel to be able to have higher.
okay. Now, very importantly, how did you arrive at this range estimates? How were they gotten? Because it's electric
You mean
mobility.
for the distance,
Excuse me.
for the distance traveled, or for the battery capacity?
No, for the distance travel. Because if you say that, okay, let's say a 48 volts 20 AH, that's basically 1 kilowatt hour battery pack, gives you 100 kilometers. I want to know how you arrive at that 100 kilometers. All right, because I'm assuming you have to test drive the tricycle. Okay, so what are the conditions? What was the average driving speed that you used to arrive at that? Because with electric mobility, the higher your speed, the less range. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's very important that people have clarity about how the you the manufacturer, your range figures
Yes. Range,
arrive at.
because it's a micro mobility system. So our speed range.
So you were saying before the internet issue that I heard you mention a speech. Is that this is a micro mobility product? Then
Yeah, we're using 20 kilometers per hour.
okay, to estimate your range. So what was
Yes.
what was
And
the
the weight, the total weight is 360 kg.
of the tuk without any
So,
passenger?
no, the thing is without passenger. When you said the total weight is just without the passenger, with the maximum load capacity can carry is 1,000 kg.
Okay.
That means it varies. So we range it between 360 to 1,000 kg.
Oh, okay. I think I understand. What was the maximum speed of this?
That's why I said that it can be able to run at 20 kilometers per hour.
Oh, okay. Asking whether the there is a a goose only version or the current design is multi-purpose and that's it.
What we did right now is we have the passenger model
Mm-hmm.
and we have the cargo model. In the
Good.
future, we are looking at a design where it's going to be just one design, which we can convert, we can be able to collapse the seat of the passenger model and turn it to become a cargo. But presently, right now, we're having two types of the rickshaw, the passenger model and the cargo model.
Oh, okay. I think that is very clear. That's very clear. Thank you very much. Now let us so we are established clarity on that. And is it moving? Is it moving? What was the price of one? Well, you're basically selling without the battery. What's the price of one now?
Without the battery, we are having for the passenger model, we're selling currently $3,000
$3,000
without,
in
yes,
Niger.
without the battery.
Oh, okay.
You said? Yeah.
In Nigeria. What about with the battery?
Because right now, unless if we have a demand for that, which we have to work on it. But currently, we are focusing on without a battery now.
Okay.
We did this because we know the battery, the storage system is taking 60 to 70% cost of it. And being a new technology, we don't want to bother people with, we don't want to, come into the market with the high cost. Because if we are adding the cost of the battery, a complete lithium-ion battery of 48 volts, 150 AH will be around 2,000, $2,100 to $2,800. So if you had this to $5,000 already, it's making it close to $6,000. If we did this conversion back to naira, it's a huge amount of money compared to the rate at which you are buying the normal internal combustion engine of internal combustion engine vehicle of tuk presently.
How much
So
is that
that's
one going
why
for?
we remove it. This $3,000
The
will be
internal combustion
equivalent
engine.
to around the internal combustion engine presently in lease to own model, they have a range between 1 million to 1.2 million naira.
Which is how much in dollars?
So if we convert these to dollars, this will be around $2,500, around
2,000
that
what?
range. 500, yes, 2,000.
Wait.
It's
That
not
means
really up to
3,000. That means that even without the battery,
enough.
the uh, the electric tuk is expensive out of the gate. Well, that's 3,000. This is 2,500. You know, also dollars.
I didn't hear that.
I'm saying that that means that even out of the gate, the electric tuk is more expensive than the petrol tuk because the petrol one is 2,500 and the electric one is $3,000, right?
Yes, but there's a difference there in the model. Don't forget I mentioned earlier the normal one that you have right now in the market of the IC top is 3+1 configuration,
Yeah,
which means
you did say, you did say, you did say, you did say.
three passengers and one driver. So
So in other
this
words,
one
yes,
is
the capacity is more.
so the difference $500 because it goes into some other features that are there that is not inside the internet combustion.
Okay, that's fine. Now let's just proceed to the battery business because it means that you are selling a car without the source of power. That's the battery. So how is a battery business structured? Like, are you? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Are you leasing the battery? And if you are leasing the battery, how much? What are the terms and conditions for that lease?
Okay. Let me firstly try to talk about the reason of for the leasing model, or I would come across, I will come about the model for the battery where you were designing and some other factors. Number one is you know when you have a technology, you have to look at the environment which you want to use the technology, and you need to adapt the technology to the environment. Yes, we are. This is the EV technology is what is already in existence in the European market, Asian market, and the American market. And the way it's being functioned or it's being operated in this market does not really mean it's the same way it will operate in African market. There's a lot of problems we have with our power system in African market. which will make us to be able to adjust our system so that this technology can work. If we bring in this technology of the Europe to now to Africa, our people would also is not working, because if we don't have access to be able to recharge the battery, this will really collapse the technology. And our mentality in Africa is, once things did not work like this, they will just tell you the technology is not working. Whereas it's not like the technology is not working; it's something that they need to adapt to the country's system. So that's why we have to adapt the system of battery swapping. So we designed a battery pack ourselves in such a way that our battery pack has an IoT and some other security devices, which we can use to monitor the battery pack remotely and get data remotely on this battery pack. And the battery pack is on lease for people to use. The leasing is, they come in the morning, I want to travel, or they comes anytime, drive into the station, just like the way they were doing at the process system. They drive into the station and buy the petrol into their vehicle and start moving. If you're going to look at the scenario, it's just simple. We are just replicating what is happening at the forces also right now at the renewable. I've never seen an internal combustion engine vehicle being bought with the fuel that they will be able to use for the next till the vehicle runs out of the market. No, what they used to do is they will station to buy the fuel as when they were in the market, and now it's been replaced by our swapping station, where they will be able to go in there to obtain the fuel. Our own fuel right now is the battery. So that means you go drive into our station, take the battery inside the electric tuk-tuk, and move for the distance you want to move. So it's on lease, where they will be paying that's 30 cents per kilowatt hour, which is invariably for one battery, they were paying for 30 cents for the one battery. So for 100 kilometers to be covered, they're going to be paying 30 cents times 8, because 8 units of the battery will be able to go for 100 kilometers, which is 2.4 US dollars for 100 kilometers to move.
Okay. That figure. Let me see. I'm just really looking at chat for Nigeria. This from last year. There's the updated. The updated one will be coming soon. To go
2.4
for.
dollars for 100 kilometers.
Okay. So for if you're using like EV, so if you're using a normal EV, the range will have been around $1. So yours is twice. The model is a bit twice more expensive. Yeah, it's cheaper than the petrol and diesel options out there. Now, um the battery. You see, the example you gave about the internal combustion engine, that you never saw an internal combustion engine car that it comes with the fuel. Okay, where that model breaks down is that if you were to replicate what you are doing for the internal combustion engine, it will be equivalent to selling the car without the gas tank. I hope you understand. So anytime you go to the station, you you get a gas tank, a pre-filled gas tank to put in your car. Because the battery is just a container for the energy. Just as the gas tank is a container for the energy. For the petrol car is the petrol, or the is in liquid form. For the electric car is in the form of electrons. I hope you understand. So my next question is, how do you guarantee quality? Uh, in the sense that human beings, we are all different. Okay. One of the things that is also clear is that when people feel that whatever property that they are using is not for them. Their behavior is different from when the property is for them. Is that not so? So how do you guarantee that maybe I had this battery initially, the battery is good. When I come back, the next battery that is going to be given to me is not going to be messed up. Yeah, understand? So maybe the battery, instead of going for 100 kilometer, the battery will end up going 60 kilometers because it has been abused by the person who previously used it. How do you guarantee quality for the leasing?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for the question. And I would like to first thing, like you comment on the system at which we're using, like from internal combustion engine against the electric mobility without the battery storage. You see, yes, good. The tank of the internal combustion engine is what is storing the fuel, and the fuel is the gasoline or the petrol that will be there. But I want you to also understand that without the if the tank is being out of the vehicle, they as well can be like, okay, when you get to the station, you have a tank, a mobile tank where you put your, some vehicles has, let's say, let me just use it this way, that the technology varies from each other. Internal combustion engines use a tank which is fixed in there. Electric vehicle use a storage system which is going to be stored inside the battery. The battery cannot be inside without the electric charge inside them. So that's why I told you firstly that we need to look at the technology and adapt it to what it can be. It's what we want to use it for. Adaptation is what really matters. Yes, at the first is the tank is fixing. Here now, the battery, the concept is like the battery should be fixed into the battery, into the car, and get its charge. But because of the technology differs from each other, the petrol is what you can easily get inside the container. But this one, you cannot separate the container from the storage or from the fuel. The two of them are fixed together. On the internal combustion engine, you can separate them. So which gives you a priority of you being able to adapt the system to what you want. In terms of quality, like I've forgotten to tell you that our battery pack has three elements which will make it into. The first one is the battery pack. The second one is what we call the energy link level. And the third one is energy cloud. So from our battery pack, we will be able to get information about the battery, the charging and the discharging of the battery. Let me just say the health of the battery will be able to get it from, because the IoT is going to be getting the data from that. And the data will be available on our energy net. The energy net, the customer has an access to some informations on the cloud, which by the time they place the order for the battery, they will see the batteries they want to obtain. They will see the levels of the battery charge, the health of the battery. They will see it there before they'll pick it up. So in terms of quality, I could also, because we as well, we are maintaining, because we know this is what fetches our revenue back. The health of our battery matters to us, and we equipped our battery with all technology that could be able to monitor it, and as well for us to know when we need to have the replacements and what we need to do at the point. So in terms of quality, I could tell you we are really on top of it with technology. We are using technology to be able to monitor our battery remotely and also physically.
But what that means is that okay, so you realize that this user is abusing this battery because of your remote monitoring. Are there going to be penalties for such a person? Okay, in order to constrain abusive usage. Is there going to be some kind of
Yes, like let me just say that on that. There's going to be terms and conditions on the battery. There's going to be terms and conditions because before you will be on our platform that you want to be using our services, you have our products. That means you are already a full register for us. On our platform, you're going to register and you will have there will be terms and conditions. Number one of the terms and condition is we are the ones to insert the battery inside the vehicle, which means you don't need to go to the battery compartment to do anything there. You don't need to go there. So if you open the battery compartment, we will be able to know at our remote end that the battery compartment is being moved, is being opened. If you remove the battery pack, even if you remove one of the battery pack out of the unit you pick, we'll be able to know because the vehicle itself also is being connected to our energy net. We remotely monitors the vehicle, so we'll be able to see whatsoever that is happening on the vehicle remotely. Once that happens, we'll be able to ask the driver what is happening, why did this happen. So we'll be able to, and there is going to be a penalty on it, definitely. If anything happens to the battery that is not in collaboration or in discussion with our technical team, the driver or the owner of the vehicle will need to answer for the break of the terms and condition.
that's clear. See, what that means is that your business model is basically like this razor blade manufacturers. So uh, it's all about the battery as a service. Well, that's where you are going to get continuing revenue. Also, and that also means that for the person buying your tuk tuk, once the person buys your tuk tuk, the person is married into your ecosystem for the foreseeable future. So the most important thing for that person is to know about the battery swapping system. So let's look at that a bit. Are your battery swapping stations going to be the same as the charging stations? In other words, where you charge your batteries, are they going to be different from where you swap the batteries, or they are going to be the same?
Yeah, no, thanks so much for the question. Number one, like you said, that uh, those that are buying the talk are going to marry into our system. I would also know because, like I mentioned earlier, if we have a customer that says they want to buy our talk with a battery because they have access to charging of the battery, we will be gladly to give it to them on that with the battery. So they're not going to be married completely to us. And also, we are trying as well to place a legacy on battery standardization. So which we are giving a room as we are developing now. Tomorrow, if anybody brings a talk and it's range between 48 volts as well, they can easily use our battery pack inside their own talk, which means even another vehicle, another electric talk manufacturer that uses the same 48 volt battery with us can use our battery swapping system, can use our battery pack as well, can use our energy length, energy net, energy link, can use our facilities. So we are not really tying down our customers to ourselves only. On the second question of the charging and the swapping system, what we are doing is we're having a cabinet, and the cabinet consists of the charging station and as well the swapping system. The swapping system is just ability to remove, to detach the battery from the charger. That's just the swapping process there. So we remove it from the charger, and we insert it into the vehicle for them to use. So we're having a cabinet, and the cabinet is going to be powered by an off-grid hybrid solar solution, which will be able to charge the battery during the sun availability, and out of sun, we'll be able to use a backup battery to charge, or a diesel, DG generator to charge the battery at night.
Okay, okay. So that means that they are not. You see, from everything that I'm hearing so far, the picture that I'm getting is that this is mainly uh, a city-based model. So the swapping stations are going to be in the cities where people can swap for their batteries. So unless somebody is buying the tuk with the batteries, it's likely that if they opt for the battery swapping model, it means they are using the tuk mainly within the cities. That also. That's what it means. Because
No,
my
let
100
me just
kilometer is
explain
up.
that to you.
My 100 kilo.
Let me
Okay.
explain it to you. Let me explain to you. What we are doing is this. Let's look at Nigerian case, for example. We are covering the whole country, the whole Nigeria as a whole now. We're going to have our battery swapping station located on the strategic location across the country. And if you pick a battery from Lagos State and you want to drive down to Ogun State, you will be able to access because we're going to have a mobile app. They'll be able to access all charging stations along the route they want to travel, and see that, okay, I have 4 swapping stations along this route. As they are moving, they can swap the battery. If you pick the battery at battery swapping station A, and you are moving towards a region where we have battery swapping station X, you can swap that battery you pick at swapping station A at battery swapping station X, and fix it into the motor and your vehicle, and still move ahead. When you move down from X and you get to where you have battery swapping station B again, you can easily swap the battery and move, because of our IoT and the energy net that we are operating. We are able to monitor where our battery is being picked up and where it's being dropped. So we are not restricting our mobility to interstate only. You can take it to move from one city to another. You can
You
move
see,
it even from one,
the
so
the
far it can be able to, if it can be able to cover the distance, you are free to move from one city to another city, from one state to another state.
okay. You see, the reason
If
why
that
yeah, but my point still is very much valid, and I'm going to demonstrate that to you. Currently, where is O Square Tech based in Nigeria? Where's the home base?
brace your state.
Where? Ogun State.
Yeah.
How many charging stations do you have in Ogun State? Swapping stations do you have in Ogun State today?
Currently, we're working on one.
Good. You see, that this is a capital build out. Yes, an international build out. Okay. So you need to get land, or you need to, either you are buying the land or leasing the land or renting space from somebody. There's permitting involved. Then there's infrastructure, just putting up the swapping stations. Yes. Then energy connectivity. This is time. It is money. There's no way that you are going to have sufficient coverage all at once. And when is it Ogun State? As you are working on Ogun State right now, whatever city in Ogun State that you're starting with, you have to get a certain level of coverage for people to move comfortably. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is why I
Yes,
was saying what I'm saying.
I do.
Because also, is it because also?
Yes, I what you're saying, and I want you to look at this also from this angle. When electric mobility also even started and they were using the charging station, which also limit that when you are moving, unless you have a public charger around where you're going to, that's when you'll be able to charge.
Yes, but you see,
When you don't have a
see,
public charger,
the point I am making is that, you see, let's say, you know, because of our affordability problem, okay, which is one of the major reasons why you as suspect are going with the battery swapping, okay, a lot of people will opt for the battery swapping. I hope you understand. You see, these are just the realities on the ground. I am not saying that somebody cannot
the
do.
coverage for the
Aha. You see, I'm not saying that somebody cannot do it. For example, if you have
explain,
a
I
no-
will explain.
if somebody goes for the option that they are buying the batteries themselves, okay, they can decide to go for a trek, and then when somewhere along the line they will charge the tuk and to continue. That is their problem. But you see, with the conditions that you have outlined earlier, where the person cannot get access to the battery pack if is the swapping model, and the swapping has to be done by someone authorized by OSquareTeck. You know what I'm saying? It means that
Yeah.
how far you can go is a function of the number of swapping stations that OSquareTeck have available in that locality. Number one, and number two, is it you're talking about micro mobility. So we are looking at 100 kilometers thereabouts. It's fair for
See,
micro
let me just
mobility.
explain so I'll be able to let you understand. We are starting from a city called Djibouti in Ogun State. While we are doing that, we are using a route to cover the whole Djibouti, and anybody that is using our system, for example, now knows that okay, we can only cover this because of the availability of the swapping station infrastructure. As soon as we are launching Megali to go nationwide, what we are doing, our swapping station is not robust. It's not about battery. And that's meant for, it's going to be because we're going to use that swapping station to empower people where we'll be giving them on a lease to own. They can easily, it's just going to be like the way people are operating a POS right now. You can easily just have a POS, open a shop, a small space, and you are selling already, you're operating. The same way on the battery swapping station. If you have seen a system of Gogoro, Suobi, and so on like that, you will see the swapping station is a very compact one, just a cabinet where you can open up because the battery pack itself is not that big battery pack. It's a very compact and small one. So it's not an infrastructure that is very robust and that's expensive like that to have. One of our battery swapping station is almost an equivalent cost of one of our electric rickshaw cost without a battery pack inside. So if we're putting, and that's why we said we're going to do it on a lease to own for the entire to empower people, which means we put the battery pack there, we put the battery swapping station and the charging system there for them, and they operate. So we will be able to spread across the country with this empowerment scheme. And once we are able to speed around the country, people will have access to it as when they need it. Currently in Djibouti, like for example now, we've seen a lot of young ones showing interest on becoming like a franchise, to have our franchise on operating our battery swapping station. So if we are open up and said, okay, we want to have 10 stations right now in Djibouti, we have the capacity is there for us to spread over because our equipment and operation.
Wait. You see, the problem I am seeing, I'm talking about, is a business model problem. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is
Yes.
a it's a business it's a function of the business model you have presented to us today. If there's a change in the business model, that problem can go away. I hope you understand. Let me say it to you. Currently, how are you financing OSquareTeck? How is it financed? Is it because the thing you're talking about is a lot of capital? You're talking about uh, designing the electric tuk-tuk, then
Yes. It sounds.
producing them
Let
in
me just.
collaboration with your manufacturing partner in India. Hello, hello. I didn't finish the question I was going the question I was going to ask. I was saying that you you're designing in collaboration with your manufacturing partner.
Right.
Hello, can you hear me?
I said you're asking about the financing of
Yes, yes,
OSquareTeck.
yes, yes. So I was saying that because you see, excuse me.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you on the financing, how we make the financing of OSquareTeck.
Okay, okay, okay. Please. Yeah, you continue.
Number one, we break the process down. That is the electric rickshaw. Our electric rickshaw, we are having it on lease to own model, and it's being financed. It's being financed by a financial institution. So on our battery pack and swapping station and the power generation, we are working with our OEM. Our OEM is supporting us with this on lease to own model as well. So which
Wait.
make it
In
easier
other words, they are
for
taking part of the cost. Are you taking part of the cost?
that they develop it for us and give it to us on lease to own. That lease to own is just like your payment is being spread over a period of time.
Okay. So, so now the business model. Okay, that's very good when it comes to the equipment infrastructure. Okay, that is one. Hello,
Yes, that's what I said. That's for the old equipment.
good.
That's for the equipment.
Mhm.
We have a capital base already for operation and maintenance that will be able to take care of the operation and maintenance. The equipment is what is going to be a big challenge. And thank God that we already have support from the financial house and also from our OEM that will support us on that. So once that one is done,
What
they
about the
bring it
energy
down.
side? What about the energy side? The energy side, because you said that
I
you are going
said
to use solar.
they, that's what I call power generation.
Mhm. So how are
The
you taking
power
care of that one?
generation,
Mhm.
the the OEM that we have
Mhm.
is a power generation company, and they also has a subsidiary where they can develop electronics system. So that one is developing the battery
Oh,
swapping station
so
for them.
it's a
So
comprehensive solution that you are getting from them.
yes,
Okay,
so
okay.
the
That answers one question.
OEM is the one power generation, is the one handling the power pack development and also the battery swapping development. So once they chip it in, we are the one responsible for ferret, flaring, and also installation here.
Okay.
And because we are a renewable energy company, we have in-house that we can do the installation, do the operation and maintenance. So the hindrance that we always have is the equipment, to purchase the equipment. And that's why we have a partner, an agreement with partner that, okay, you are going to give us the equipment on lease to own. That's option one that we are using now. Option two that we are about to get also is the power generation. We found a company which also offers a lease model, not lease to own now this time around, but a lease model for solar equipment, which means all the solar components that we're going to use to be charging the station, they will give it to us on lease to own. This saves us from the capital expenditure that we will be looking at the capital to invest
So
on the solar
so
system.
you convert
Rather,
the CAPEX to OPEX.
Exactly. So we reduce our CapEx and it's just our OpEx that we focus on.
Okay, okay. You see, that means that this means that now you have found partners with deep pockets who can do the initial capital outlay and give it to you in the form of OpEx instead of CapEx. But you see, you
Yeah.
said that you are the ones responsible for the clearing and all that. And because of this equipment and our policies on the continent, the taxes are not something to laugh about. You get what I'm saying? So yes, you need to spend money on that also. Now the next thing is uh, with respect to the stations. Are you partnering with people for the stations, or you are acquiring your own land, putting up your own buildings?
Like I explained earlier, we're just starting, and our future is we don't want to own all these stations. We're owning them right now because we're starting and we want to maintain the technology. As time goes on, we will be we will be doing a franchise with people to operate the stations. So it will be like the filling stations. Filling stations are not being operated by Total, no Chevron, no Renault. So we as well, we're not going to be doing that. But the only thing is we'll be at the back end to be giving them the technology, to be updating the technology for them. So in the future, we are partnering with people so that the coverage will be faster. But presently, we are still the one maintaining the assets now.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. It has been interesting. Um, I'm sure that there are a lot of things to interrogate, but we are done 1 hour. And it's early morning for those of you watching. This is I think 7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock in Nigeria, and it was 6 a.m. in Ghana when we started. So it was very very early. Thank you very much, and we'll be having you again to continue the conversation on the agri. But I can see where the link with the agri goes because the tuk-tuks can be used in agricultural for hauling agricultural cargo. I can see the energy side too, the electronics, and then the what's the name, the batteries. And also. So thank you very much. Do you have any last words for the audience?
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be on your platform and also for the interview. And I look forward to come again as soon as you want me. I will surely make myself available. Thank you so much once again.
You're very welcome. It has been a great pleasure and an honor. Bye bye.